Hello, what's up, everyone? It's Christine Walker, and I am so excited about this week's Patient on Demand episode because I got something fun to share with you. One of the best parts of just growing as a business owner, growing as a clinic owner, growing in every way is sharing it with friends and helping them out and getting help in return from them when you need it. And one of my friends was struggling with a problem recently, and it just spurred me on to record this long message to her to help her maybe see things at a different angle and to really rethink like what's going on and where breakdowns could be occurring with the trouble she's dealing with. So I won't give you too much of the background. You can kind of see how I respond to the message, but I want you to know that during this advice time that I think a lot of you guys probably can benefit with, which is why we're sharing it here. During this time, I refer to a principle called 10-80-10, and I've learned this from several different mentors. But the idea is, as a leader, as the head of your business, as head of your clinic, you need to, with your staff, you need to initiate things. Like you need to be the first 10%. As the business owner, as the CEO, as the main person, right? You need to do the first 10%. You've got to give them direction. You've got to give them objectives, give them the idea of what you want them to accomplish. Then you go let them do the next 80%. And then you come back at the end for the 10% and like polish it off, redirect here or there, etc. And so when you hear me talk about it in this recording, you'll know exactly what I mean by the 10-80-10. And so I want you to check it out. I want you to listen to it. And that way you'll have a little more understanding of what's going on when I refer to it. But really enjoy this. I think this advice can be applied to a lot of you, especially when you're dealing with things with staff, but even more so when you're dealing with things you're trying to pass off, right? So this principle is when I'm looking to hire somebody, right, to do things for me, like you may be looking to me to help with your website and your SEO rankings and to get you ranked top Google. What you're looking for ideally is like you only do a little bit at the beginning, somebody else does all the hard legwork in the middle, and then at the end you're coming back and just saying like, let's adjust this a little, let's adjust that. Think about a situation you might be in right now where that's the case, or where maybe, as you're going to hear me talk about, you've delegated 2%, maybe, and then went 96 to your team, and then maybe 2% at the end. Maybe that's not working out well. So here's my advice on that. Check it out. Enjoy this episode, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.
Hey, so I've been thinking about your question, your problem some more about what to do when you set quarterly goals and then like your staff doesn't hit them and you're getting a lot of pushback about hitting them. And I still do think one of the biggest actions you need to take right now is, of course, going back to them and having the why discussion and digging deeper beyond like just the surface answers they given. Like, okay, well, why did that hold us back? Why did that hold us back? Why more? Why more? Why more? I think that's really important, just to kind of find out who on your staff is really willing to go strategically more into what's really going on versus who's just going to throw excuses at you all the time that are very surface level, who can actually eventually go deeper and have some aha moments. But I was also thinking back to when I've seen this happen, a lot of times the thing I forget to do personally, but I find super helpful when I do, is to really think back to the 10-80-10 principle and make sure I really gave my staff a full 10% before I let them run off with the 80%. Because I think I'm really guilty of finding myself thinking I'm giving them 10% and giving them enough direction and giving them enough milestones and giving them enough goals to hit and really laying out a clear picture, when really I'm probably only giving them 2%. And I'm kind of more playing the 296-2 game where the team's actually laid out way more responsibility than, to say politely, that it's actually maybe even above their pay grade, above their strategic level of thinking, because I haven't hired them to be that strategic. And I think as you and I grow, and as we think even more and more strategically, we have to be really, really, really careful that we actually still give them the full 10% when it comes down to the plan, the tactics, the deadlines, the measurements. And of course, while they're out there then executing the 80%, that's not completely with our hands off. Like, we've got to still play the role of each week. Like, did you hit this deadline? Did you not? If not, why not? Like, where'd you get stuck? Like, are we asking those questions throughout the progress? Is everything clear? I'm asking my employees every week, is actually every day. But still, is anything uncomfortable and clear? Where are you stuck? Where do you need help? You know, and keeping track of those deadlines in that 80% where the staff's more responsible for doing the work, it doesn't absolve us from not being involved at all. And so when I think back on like missed quarterly goals, I think the real question is that and I apologize, my kids are about to hop back in the car and might make some noise, but Jackson, try again. But did I really give them 10% at the beginning, or did I give them 2%? Because I'm looking back at a couple of goals we didn't hit, and I'm analyzing them right now since I'm planning for Q4, and I'm looking and I'm seeing, okay, why didn't this project get done? Let me go back and read the plan I actually wrote out for them. And I think that's even the bigger question is, did you even write out a plan for them? Like, that they can go back and reference and see the milestones and see the steps. And did you go over this plan with them before? And did they contribute to any milestones you might have missed? Did they contribute to any parts of the plan, like, that maybe you didn't know fully, that maybe you fully didn't know were working? Like you're like, I'm a little unclear of how they do XYZ because, you know, it's not my role. They know it better in that sense. Like, did you bring them in? So like, here's the plan I made. What am I missing? Like, did all that get established up front and get agreed upon? Like, okay, so then these are the deadlines I set. Do these sound reasonable? Do you guys agree? And then are you holding them responsible and checking in for those? And while you don't have an ops manager, like, that is still your job. That is still your job to do that. And I think a lot of times, and maybe this is what happened here, is a lot of times, especially when we're busy and we've got other things going on with regards to, you know, big moves in the business and big other projects that come up or unexpected things. It's like, how clear was that plan I gave him at the beginning? And how clear were we in executing it? And did I actually as a leader of it check in with them? And did we all agree upon this from the beginning, or was it more of a decree? And then you almost expected, like, and I've done this so many times. It's like, I almost like decree what needs to happen, right? And then I just expect everybody to go do it. And I forget that I need to give them reminders, and I forget that I need them to set weekly goals. Like, are you hitting your weekly targets that are going to get us through the plan, right? If we've got this plan for the quarter, well, did we break it down into monthly? Did we break it down into, you know, weekly goals? Did I actually check in with them every week to make sure they were hitting them? And if they weren't hitting them, did I actually ask them why they're not hitting them and help them get unstuck? And I kind of wonder, if you look back at that system, especially now that you're getting the chance to replan for Q4, did all that really happen? Did you actually give them the 10% before the next 80-10 happened? So that's just food for thought as I'm sitting here kind of mulling over the big picture. And I know that's keeping it really high and strategic, but then practically speaking, how can you go change this quarter? And even you asking this question, I think I told you on Friday, I sat down and did my quarterly planning, and I'm now like, you know what? I didn't get specific enough. I'm going to go back and be like, yep, this part of the quarterly plan, I'm chunking it off. Like, this is September's goal, and this is October's goal. This is November's goal, and this is December's goal. And, you know, we have weekly meetings where we pick, like, what are those going to be for each month? But I want to get more specific even before I present it to them. And obviously we'll modify it. I'm presenting it to them tomorrow, so that's why I'm modifying it today. And we'll agree upon deadlines, and they'll tell me if that was realistic, what I put out or not, based on the workload, because for the parts that I don't understand from a technical standpoint. And, you know, we'll agree upon those. And then during our weeklies, we'll check in on those. During our dailies, we'll prioritize things so that we're working towards them. And we'll just move from there and keep our progress. So I hope that helps. I'm sorry for all the background noise. I think my husband's now ordering food at a drive-thru. So, you know,
Yes, ma'am.
basically, I think even as you're planning to move forward right now, I would go back and look at what was the plan in Q3, and did I have it written down clearly enough? Because I have a feeling you'll look back and be like, oh, probably not. And maybe that, I'm not saying that was everything. Like, I'm not saying you don't have maybe some issues with people not being on board and they're not, you know, doing their initiative and they're not coming through when you ask them to. You probably have some of that too. This is a combo, but where can you give it a better chance of succeeding? And then obviously you may have to make hard decisions still as the quarter progresses if things aren't changing, but are you really giving them that best shot? Did you really give them that full 10%? I hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, everyone. Did you find that advice helpful? I am sure there is a situation in your life right now that you're either wishing you could get to a 10-80-10 principle, or maybe you found, whoops, I wasn't getting involved enough in the process to begin with, that you maybe let it get off track. I hope that this helped you think through some things going on in your life, in your business right now. And just so you know, if you really are looking to dump off a lot of your hard work, especially when it comes to your website and SEO and rankings and stuff that you literally did not go to school for, stuff you should not be focusing on, but you want still customized and personally ready for you, then please reach out. You can go to ptwebsitesecrets.com/strategy. My calendar is on the website. You can go book a call and we can chat. Like, how can we get this off your plate? So maybe you can go lead your team better in 10-80-10, or maybe you can go redirect your resources into another way that you're going to be able to push the business forward where you're already strong at and where you already can make a mass contribution. It's okay. You don't need to go learn out and spend hours and years and whatever testing and trying to become a web developer or the person that can get you ranked top 3 on Google. That is not the best use of your time. So if you need to get that off your plate, just reach out, ptwebsitesecrets.com/strategy, and we will talk soon. Bye.